Hey guys, it is MissSimReno. If you are returning to the channel, welcome back. And if you are brand new, I am very excited that you decided to join me here today for another speed build. And I am exceptionally excited about this one. I probably say that with every speed build because I just get really excited over things. I'm very excitable. But I am exceptionally excited about this build because, as you guys can see from the title, this is for the infamous Grunt family from The Sims 2. So a couple of months ago, gosh, it feels like maybe a year ago at this point, I actually built a home for the Smith family. So if you guys are not familiar with these families from The Sims 2, the Smith family consists of pollination technician number 9, who is a full-blown alien, his wife, whose name I forget, I think it's Jill, or maybe that's his daughter, I don't remember, but he has a wife who is a human, and they have 2 children, a teenager named Johnny, which I definitely remember, and he is very green. He resembles his father in that way. And they also have a daughter who I do believe is Jill, and she is a child sim, and she is not green like her brother. So that is one family, and basically in The Sims 2, in Strangetown, I believe it was, they had this ongoing feud with the Grunt family. And the Grunt family is a very militant family. It consists of General Buzz Grunt and his 3 sons. He has 2 teenagers and 1 child. And one of them, I believe it's Tank, he really follows in his dad's footsteps, or really wants to. He's very militant himself. His son, Rip, does not want to follow in his footsteps. And the youngest is a child sim named Buck, and I think it's Buck, and he is just kind of figuring things out. He's still a child. He's a little bit on the heavier side. These are just things noted on the internet when I looked them up. And he's kind of a whiz kid, so it seems like his oldest is definitely following in his footsteps, whereas the younger 2 aren't really. And he has an ex-wife, General Buzz. I believe her name is Lila. However, she died on the property of, I believe, the Curious family. So as you can see, there's like this whole there's this whole background to these families from The Sims 2, which we don't really have in The Sims 4. But for the Sims 19th anniversary, when the Strangerville pack was released, this build is in Strangerville, they gave us the Sims 2 versions of like the Grunt family and the Smith family reimagined for The Sims 4. So that was really exciting. I immediately made the Smith home across the street, and I have finally gotten to building the Grunt family home. So as you can see, it doesn't resemble their home from The Sims 2. I really just took creative liberties with it, and I made them this home, and my idea was that they basically, I don't know, I feel like General Buzz, he doesn't really take care of his home. So once his wife passed away, or his ex-wife, I don't really know what happened first. I think once his ex-wife passed away, he honestly just, he's married to his job. That's basically it. Like, he's married to his job as is. He takes it very seriously. It's a lifestyle for him. So essentially, he doesn't really take care of the house, which some may argue is actually in contradiction to him being very militant. You know, maybe things would be in tip-top shape, in order, like all of that kind of stuff. But I kind of think that he doesn't take care of the home. That inside he just runs a strict household. He doesn't really know how to, I don't know, he doesn't really know how to maintain a home or make it very homey and welcoming. I feel like his ex did that, and basically once she passed, he really just let the property go altogether because he doesn't really know how to care for the kids in a lot of ways, and he's mainly just working. So the house kind of went to crap is what I was thinking. So I kind of put this wooded, what am I trying to say, kind of like pallet in front of one of the garage doors as if he was fixing it up but then abandoned the project. There are some crates that are just in the yard. Their driveway isn't paved. There's just kind of like some weeds. There isn't really any landscaping. That was my idea, and I put cracks on the outside too. But since I had to go through the backstory, we're already on to the interior of the home, and it is such a weird setup. But again, I feel like it worked because I feel like when him and his wife bought this home, he decided to kind of almost make it into a barracks room for his kids, which is a little wild, but I think that's exactly what it was like in The Sims 2 as well. So this home does have a basement, and it is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, which I thought, oh, actually 3-bathroom, because there's one in the basement. So it accommodates everyone in the family, which I was honestly concerned I wasn't going to be able to do. But the way that I kind of did this is Buzz's room is upstairs and his son Tank gets the bigger room and a double bed because he's basically earned the rank in the family of following in dad's footsteps. It's kind of a messed up idea, but I feel like it fits this family really nicely. So Tank is the one that follows in his footsteps, and he has one of the bigger rooms upstairs that isn't like a barracks room. And Rip and Buck actually have rooms downstairs, and they literally have like a barracks bed each, and their rooms are really small. It does seem messed up. It may be uncomfortable doing it, but I feel like it totally fits this family. So you guys will have to let me know what you think. I also feel as though, you know, when him and his wife bought this home, it was beautiful and amazing. And maybe they bought it literally brand new, like new construction. And since he hasn't kept it up and he hasn't upgraded anything, like the kitchen and the furniture, the cabinets, the counters, they're all just a lot older. I'm not saying that they're not nice and that they're not functional, but he definitely hasn't made like any cosmetic upgrades to this home at all. And the decorating is just pure military. Like there's just military pennants and flags everywhere. It's basically become a shrine to serving in the military, and that's it. And I think recently he essentially kind of loosened the reins a bit and allowed the kids to decorate their rooms a little bit. Like that's where I'm imagining this family is at. And their home is pointing directly towards the Smith home. There's actually a screenshot at the end where you can see how their front porch literally situates them to just stare at the Smith home across the street. I just thought it was perfect. These were two of my favorite families from The Sims 2, at least in Strangetown. And I really wanted to bring them to life since we have them for The Sims 4. So now I'm decorating the kitchen, and this is kind of like the kitchen and living space. They don't have a dining table. They just have this small little bar in the middle of the kitchen to actually sit, so only 2 Sims at a time. It's very loosely decorated. They have a couple of appliances. They have, you know, a microwave and a coffee maker, and other than that, it's not very decorated, aside from the military pendants, because of course we need those. There's like one plant. It looks very different, I think, from a lot of my builds because I didn't fill every corner with a plant, because I really don't feel like General Buzz Grunt really gives a crap about decorative plants or live plants for that matter. Like he just doesn't care. And like the furniture's a little bit older. I'm not saying gross at all. I don't think he keeps a gross household. That would not be his MO. But you can see I use these really distressed floorboards from Get Famous because maybe the floors have not been refinished since they bought this home and they've been scuffed up. The couch and the armchair and even this kind of repurposed coffee table are just, they're just older. It's just something that he didn't think was a priority. And I don't really know how he feels about his wife's death. I really don't. So it's interesting too because in the Sims 4 reimagined version of them, we actually get his wife as a ghost. So she's a member of this family. So when you guys load up my save file, because yes, this is for my save file, she will be there and you'll be able to actually play with her as a ghost, which I've never been able to do before with any Sim. So I was kind of excited by it. But they have like no relationship, and it's really odd because again, all of these Sims, when I uploaded them, they don't have relationships with one another. So I adjusted their relationships to reflect kind of what they were in The Sims 2. So Tank has a really good relationship with his dad, whereas Rip and Buck don't. And I think Buck had a really close relationship with his mom. So with having mom as a ghost in The Sims 4, I gave them a really good relationship. And I think what I chose to do is I chose to make General Buzz's relationship with his ex-wife, their romantic relationship is still good, but their like friendship is really low. I don't know. That's kind of the vibe I get. Like he still really cared about her, and the reason why he's not even putting the work into the home is because he can't like bear to do it without her. Basically, I don't know. Like he's trying to capture everything the way it was before she passed, and he doesn't want to change anything. Maybe that's kind of a route to take, but really, I had to make sure that they could sleep in the same bed since she's a ghost and she's part of the house, so their romantic relationship had to be higher. You might just have to adjust it if and when you download the save file for this world, which, on that note, this is not the next world that's going to be available, but I did want to share this because I thought it was really cool. But now I'm working on some of the little barracks rooms here. So they do have these little beds. And what I ended up doing is I took one of these armless chairs from Cats and Dogs and put it behind. So it looks as though the bed at least has a little bit of a headboard because like before I put that down, it was basically a pair of shoes and a box at the head of the bed. And they had some space against the wall and it was really awkward. So I just didn't want to keep that. And this is actually going to be Rip's room. So he at least has a TV. He has some military posters because I feel like he's trying to entertain the idea of following in his dad's footsteps. And his dad basically has taken a lot of pride in his quote unquote interest. And he's hesitant now to take them down because he doesn't want to disappoint his dad. But he basically just has this closet, a mirror, and his bed and the TV. And that's it. Like, their rooms are really small. They don't have a lot of space whatsoever. And I thought that closet was perfect because it's just very minimal. It's not custom, it's not cute, it's not fancy, it's nothing. It's just, here are your plain white collared t-shirts, your backpack, and your shoes. It looked very militant to me. And this is actually Buck's room. So like I said, I think Dad kind of loosened the reins and allowed Buck to put up some decorations that he enjoyed. And he has a very high mental skill. So I think that he's very interested in space, but he doesn't want to really admit that to his dad fully, because that could mean that he's interested in learning about aliens. And it's very interesting because in The Sims 2, Buck actually is friends with the Smith's daughter, who they're both children. So it makes sense. You know, they're not holding the grudges against the other family the way that their parents are. So like Tank, for example, he hates Johnny, who is like Johnny Smith. He hates him. So like Tank and Dad hate the Smith family, and the younger children don't hate one another yet, right? They just don't. They don't understand their parents' feud. So it's just very interesting. There's such a good backstory with these families. So if you want to learn more, definitely, you know, go on the Google machine real quick and check it out. But that's why I wanted to build this home for this family. And now we're already on the upstairs. And this is where, like I said, Buzz has his room, and then his prodigal son, there we go, his prodigal son also has a room up here, and he has like a double bed, and it's like real nice. And I don't know, the room isn't that much bigger, but I mean, he's able to get a double bed in there. It's big enough. And I was trying to make a headboard for this bed with another couch. I went back and forth a lot because I still wanted it to look like a teenage boy's room. So I end up settling, I think, on one. I think it ends up being this one that I keep, or I just eliminate it altogether and bring the original headboard back out from the wall because it just looked way too awkward to me. I don't know, it just didn't really work. The style started to deviate from what I was going for. So I think I end up just sticking with this bed and leaving the headboard present. But yeah, he gets like cute little end tables. He has his own dresser. He's got his own like bookcase. I mean, he's got his own TV and gaming console. He definitely has it a little bit nicer than his brothers downstairs. And I don't think that he necessarily like rubs it in his brothers' faces or anything like that. I think he knows that him and his dad get along better than his brothers and his dad do. I think he has a decent relationship with his brothers, maybe more so with Rip because they're the same age. Like, Buck is kind of the odd one out because he's so much younger. I don't remember what it was like in The Sims 2, but that's kind of the feeling that I have. He was even able to put up some of his own posters as well as some military posters. So Tank is really lucky. And the hallway's like very, very minimally decorated. And then I move on to Dad's room. So he actually does have, I think, a very nice room. He has his own desk in there as well. And at the end of the video, it may actually not even be on camera, I end up giving him like the medal case and filling it with all of the medals that you can get in the military career as career rewards, because that was definitely going to be important because I already put down the, what's it called? The flag. Just spaced completely on my words. But that's his little desk there. And then he just has some other military paintings that are framed in his room, as well as a dresser. Again, nothing really fancy. I don't think he's really a fancy man. I think he goes for the essentials, but he does have a really nice room. And him and two of his sons share that exact same rug in their room as well. Again, that is a career award, I believe, from the military career. And then I work on the full bathroom up here, which is just an ensuite bathroom for Dad. So Tank actually cannot access it. The way that I built this is I locked the doors specifically for certain access for certain Sims. And I felt like that was necessary in this home, very militant. And now I'm putting a tombstone out back. So even though Mom did not pass on the property, I feel as though the tombstone is out here, which is why her ghost is still on the property. So I wanted that to be that was like a very purposeful decoration is what I'm trying to say. That was very intentional. And then I just kind of decorate a little bit outside. I added some piping on the outside and inside in various spots because, again, I feel like Dad just hasn't upgraded things appropriately and the house could have used some work and he just didn't do it. And in the basement, there is another bathroom, but the basement is mainly Buzz's like workstation. So there's actually laundry down here as well. There is a washer and dryer, so there is laundry in this build. And then there is a treadmill and a weightlifting machine, as well as just some basement looking clutter that we got from Strangerville. And this is locked from anyone aside from Buzz, so the kids actually can't even go down here. It's just for him because there's a TV down there and I didn't want them watching the TV downstairs. That's the main reason why I ended up doing it, because I like really didn't want everyone to be piling down into the basement all of the time. And there's also a woodworking station because I feel like he's kind of sort of handy, or at least tries to be, hence all of the wood in the yards. But that is actually pretty much it for the build. We're getting very close to the end, so I cannot wait to hear your guys' thoughts on this one. I want to know what you know about this kind of family feud, and if there were elements that you think are missing from this home for this family, or just your all-around thoughts, because this one was an absolute blast for me, and I finally felt inspired to do it. So thank you guys so much for checking this one out, and I will catch you guys next time I post a video. Bye!